Hey guys, hello, good afternoon this time, and welcome to PsychCandy for Monday, October 10th. I was just thinking, Chris, you might agree with me on this one, but I really hope that Waitbot gets an upgrade sometime soon. He needs some new music. So I didn't think that the world would implode if I started the show a little bit early today. Deanna, good to see you. Chris, glad you're here. Everybody watching out in YouTube and on Facebook, glad to have you around. How often have you heard people say, "Oh my God, it's insanity," or "I'm insane," or "That's insane," or "This is all insanity"? And then, how often have you heard this one? Because I hear this at least once a week, like legit. That the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results. Do you think that's the definition? Because I'm about to tell you right now. Nope, it is not. That is not the definition. To be clear, insanity is a legal term pertaining to a defendant's ability to determine right from wrong when a crime is committed. You ever thought about that? Elizabeth, welcome. Elizabeth, before I go any further, what I just shared was, do you think that the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results? And if you said yes, I'm going to tell you no. No, it is not. So let me start that again. So to be clear, though, insanity, though, is a legal term pertaining to a defendant's ability to determine right from wrong when a crime is committed. I want to share with you the first sentence in a very lengthy definition of what insanity is. But insanity, a mental illness of such severe nature that a person cannot distinguish fantasy from reality, cannot conduct his or her affairs due to psychosis, or is subject to uncontrollable impulsive behavior. Insanity is a concept discussed in court to help distinguish guilt from innocence. It's informed by, mental health professionals. But the term today is primarily legal, not psychological. There's no quote unquote insane diagnosis listed in the DSM. There is no nervous breakdown either, but that's a different topic. Gracie Elliott, good to see you. So, where did this saying come from? It's attributed to Albert Einstein. Has to be. Nope, it's not. What about Benjamin Franklin? Probably not. Mark Twain. Has to be Mark Twain. Nope, not Mark Twain. What about a mystery writer? What about Rita Mae Brown, who is a mystery writer? Yeah, probably so, because she used it in her novel Sudden Death. And it's not clear who said it first, but according to at least one blogger, it's the dumbest thing a smart person ever said. The catchy saying has gathered steam, obviously, over the past few years, right? And regardless of the source, that term has gotten a lot of mileage. Now, I'm not in the habit of slamming cute sayings, right, with one exception, but I think there's a dark underbelly to this one. I've started hearing people use it in the service of avoidance, which is obviously a defense mechanism. And rather than facing their fears, they grab on to this saying for protection against possible failure, pain, or rejection. So let me share some examples. I've asked 2 women out, and I was shot down both times. I must be insane. I jogged for a week and actually gained weight. They say the definition of insanity is, yeah, we do. We use it loosely, use it lightly, right? But the definition of insanity doesn't have anything to do with jogging or dating. It's important to keep grieving, keep jogging, keep asking people for dates, because these are areas of life that require some repetition and are quite sane. Now, as a therapist, when I hear these statements, I can collude with the protective bubble of the socially accepted catchphrase, or I can challenge it. And I can tell you that when met with those examples I just gave you, I'm going to challenge it. I think the confusion behind this statement is best illustrated by two words. I want you to really listen to these two words: perseveration, which is the pathological, persistent repetition of a word, gesture, or act. And then there's perseverance, steady persistence in a course of action in spite of difficulties, obstacles, or discouragement. Now, some forms of dementia, traumatic brain injury, anxiety, even OCD can cause people to perseverate. They repeat words and tasks or try repeatedly to solve problems, but are left frustrated and unsatisfied. They're not necessarily insane, but stuck in a non-productive pattern due to a glitch in brain function. You know, some medications or even CBT therapy tools, could be helpful. But see, one important thing to think about is when somebody gets stuck in that pattern, that you're trying to repeat the same stuff over and over again. Well, but certain aspects are not changing. So meaning you're going to keep getting the same result, and that's going to make you feel insane. We have to alter things sometimes. There's also the psychodynamic construct called repetition compulsion. This is where people unconsciously repeat past conflicts in an attempt at mastery. I want to get it right. We want to finish unfinished business, so to speak. So sometimes we recreate old unresolved problems for the potential of a better outcome. A typical example would be, let's say, a guy who desired closeness with his emotionally unavailable mother as a child and therefore seeks out unavailable women in his adulthood. Or maybe a woman who feels it's always her duty to invite her selection of apathetic friends to socialize. Or someone who's drawn to crowds of, wealthier, smarter, prettier, etc. people, where they always feel left out. They're all trying to finally conquer some old feelings of rejection somewhere. But even if they do succeed today, it doesn't erase the pain from the past. Let's not confuse perseveration with perseverance. Okay? A persistent quest against a fear or towards a goal is often the best course of action. So repeating the same constructive behavior over and over, hoping that, one day for a positive result is difficult but virtuous, right? But it's the effort made by, think of it this way. Is the effort made by eating oatmeal every morning, brushing your teeth after every meal, and daily journaling, is that our construction? It's like sometimes it could be even weekly therapy, consistent workouts, taking time for spirituality. Maybe trying over and over to get into, your favorite job or your favorite school or favorite group. What about Mother Teresa tirelessly serving the poor? Or some working to systematically overcome shyness, build healthier habits, or communicate better with their spouse. Maybe it's a 12-stepper, taking it that one day at a time. Look, the qualities of perseverance, consistency, loyalty, these are beneficial to health, and definitely these are not insane. And guess what? They're doing the same thing every day, hoping for some measure of progress. It is important to really understand, really see the difference of, are we simply trying to band-aid, mask, hide ourselves really from seeing what it is we're trying to work past, or are we trying to just cover it up and we're going to repeat the same action over and over again, because if I just keep doing it over and over again, it's finally going to change. I'm finally going to see that goal I want. I'm finally going to see the purpose. Things are going to change, but it's not. because your brain's not changing. Your emotions aren't changing. Your patterns aren't changing. In that moment, my friend, you are not persevering. You're acting in perseveration. So how do you tell the difference? I mean, perseveration feels compulsive, hopeless, helpless, automatic, unsatisfying. You know, there's a desire to stop, but stopping doesn't feel like an option. Whereas perseverance feels like striving towards a noble goal. And whether or not it's reached, if there is virtue in the effort, that's a plus. Perseverance is a strong, valuable quality. Perseveration is a troubling issue, which honestly, most times needs clinical attention. So let's not let just a quaint saying kind of blur this definition. The next time you want to say, oh my God, this is insanity, think. Sometimes, obviously in society, there's so many terms that people use. It's misunderstood, it's presented wrong, it's said wrong, it's used in the wrong context. It's using those wrong analogies sometimes, right? There's a meme that I like to post. It's this couple, and they're sitting down talking to the therapist. And it's like, what's the problem? Well, the problem is he's always using like incorrect verbiage for trying to make an analogy. And he's like, oh, shut up. Just cry me a table, Linda. We get mixed up, though, sometimes in our statements. We get mixed up in what we're going to say, but we have to also bear in mind something. Do you remember that the words that you state actually mean something? Do you remember that what are you speaking over yourself? Are you insane? Is that what you're going to speak over yourself? Is your situation just pure insanity? Really? And that's what you're going to speak? Is that what you're stating? Because if that's what you're going to speak and that's what you're going to state, guess what? You might start feeling it. You might start feeling a bit of that insanity because that's what you're claiming at that moment because you're doing that. And then perseveration, I promise you, will make you feel like you're insane, whether you really are or not, because it's confusing. It's repetitious. It's negative. Thank you for that, man. It's negative. We have to be guarded about what we speak. We got to be guarded about what we say. We all joke around. I mean, I love to laugh. I have a very weird sense of humor. I joke around all the time. But I'm also really cautious, though, about making certain statements, even in a joking manner. I don't joke about certain things. I'm not going to go and just say things lightly or loosely because you don't know who might be around that might be listening. I might be making a joke of a statement. Somebody else is listening to it and they take that to heart. I don't know it. Could be a stranger sitting next to me. Who knows? Guys, we are a listening culture. We are a listening society. We pay attention to words and what people say. We pay attention to what celebrities say. We pay attention to what politicians say. We pay attention to what our friends say. We pay attention to what family says. We pay attention. And do you know what? Even if you feel like, oh, no, I ignore all that stuff, your subconscious doesn't. Your subconscious records everything that you do. Your subconscious knows whether or not you're insane. So, and sometimes it's that battle, though, between the subconscious and conscious. Sometimes that battle is what makes people feel, this is insane. I don't understand this. And we don't feel the perseverance, I did an entire show actually on perseverance. Perseverance and integrity actually is what it was. But one of the big scopes, though, in perseverance, man, is such a strong, powerful word because when you persevere, you are going to conquer, my friend. There is no, I do not accept anything less than. I will persevere. Or am I going to perseverate and I hope that one day I will persevere? See, we can all perseverate really easily. We can all procrastinate. We can all put off. We can all speak negative. We can all give in to the negative. We can all give in to things are just not working out right now. So what's the point of perseverance? I can't persevere because of A, B, and C, and because of my life is simply insane. And when we claim that and we hold on to that mental positioning, now we're feeding that to ourselves. Now that's what I'm accepting as my normal. Now that's what I'm accepting in terms of conquering. I've been around insane people, obviously, in my now 27 years, but I've been around insane people. And I'm going to tell you something, my friend. Most people are not insane. Truly insane. Because if you were insane, you would not have any ability of actually doing anything healthy and productive in your life. You will be that person that people like, holy crap, man. This person is off the rails. Yeah. Because there's no rational, there's no reasoning, there's no logical with an insane person. So think about that the next time you say that you're insane, the next time you call somebody else insane, the next time you say your situation's insane. Think about really what that means. Don't speak that over yourself. Now, I'm going to segue a little bit to, in my ending off of this particular topic of insanity, and I'm going to say that we need to be in a position where we're able to actually get clear-minded and get clear focus on us. So I'm going to end off talking a little bit further about perseverance. Do you know that perseverance, do you know that it can take this nitro infused high octane power punch in the positive when you have people around you that support you in your life and love you and embrace you and understand you, and they can be your friend, and they're going to help catapult you into the areas that you need to be, especially when you're struggling, and that your perseverance meter will go through the roof. And sometimes it's really hard to get to that place that you're going to actually see yourself persevering. In other words, I am going to persevere, not I might persevere. So it's important that we have people around us that are also people who persevere. I want conquerors around me. I want people around me who are victorious. Does that mean that all of these people and us, that we're not going to still have our mistakes and fall down sometimes and have our struggles? Of course we are. We're human. But I can promise you one thing. I'm going to get through it a whole lot better and feel a whole lot better when I've got people around me who are like-minded and they are victorious just like me. So we have to be mindful of that. I really don't, I still joke. I do say that I'm crazy. I'll admit that. I'm a crazy Irishman. I'm going to own that one. But am I insane? No. And I don't want insane friends. I'll take all the crazy friends you want to give me. But as far as insane friends, no. And I do want friends around me who are conquerors, who are perseverers, who are those, we're going to do this. I got a friend of mine who really needs to, they're really wanting to get on a better, healthier plan. They want to work out. And I need to do the same thing. I would like to get healthier and work out too. So we are going to persevere together. We are going to do this together. We're going to support each other together. Man, that's huge. And people take things like that for granted. Don't take that for granted. I see plenty of people every week. They have nobody. There's nobody supporting them. There's nobody loving them. Their life has been an absolute catastrophe. and they're starting over. And do you know what? I encourage them like to go into social situations, go meet some new people, that kind of thing. But I want them to do that because we have to start over sometimes. But the thing is that you got to think about, start looking for, like, when we project those kind of positive attributes, you might be the catalyst that helps somebody else. And sometimes I look for situations, if I know that, person A is alone and struggling, and I see person B alone and struggling, I'm going to try to maybe let the two of them meet, and guess what? They might start persevering together. They're going to start conquering some shit together, and that is so uplifting for the human spirit. We need each other, people. We need each other. We want to persevere. Create your persevering tribe. Create your conquering tribe for your world and for yourself. And first and foremost, stop saying if and start saying when. Don't say I might. Say I am. I want you to be conscious about the words that you speak. Be conscious about what you take in and what you receive. But be very conscious of the words that you speak. Graciela, you are a beautiful spirit. It's not, I mean, you could be. Maybe. I don't know. Or you might be if. See, that's all crap talk. Let me tell you something. All of you are beautiful spirits. All of you are persevering because you have that ability inside of you. So now you have to say it, though. I am persevering. I will persevere. So no more mights, no more ifs, no more buts. I've said it before and I'll say it again. My grandmother told me this. If ifs and buts were nuts and berries, we'd all have a happy Christmas. and I love and will always and never forget that statement. If ifs and buts were nuts and berries, we'd all have a Merry Christmas. I've heard that 1,000 million times in my life. It was ingrained. And I would catch myself whenever I'd be talking to her. She'd ask me a question. So I'd say, yeah, I'm going to do so-and-so. But she's like, excuse me, what'd you just say to me? I'm like, no, you better back that up. And I said, when? I'm going to do this, and this is going to happen. Or when this happens. Yeah. All right, guys. But seriously, persevere. And think about the next time you hear that. Pay attention sometimes. You'll be surprised how many times you actually hear it in conversation, socially, with people talking about insanity, being insane. This is insane. She's insane. He's insane. That's insane. This is insanity. Absolute 100% insanity. And you just kind of chuckle to yourself, and then you can say, it really isn't, And thank God it's not. And then just bear in mind, and I am going to leave you with this is my closing thought, and I'm going to let you guys go. But I'm going to read this out to you again. Perseveration is the pathological, persistent repetition of a word, gesture, or act. Understand that? The pathological, persistent repetition. Perseverance, steady persistence in a course of action in spite of difficulties, obstacles, or discouragement. That's why it's so important that when we persevere, we are persevering. I will persevering. I will persevere. Yeah. Well, guys, I so appreciate you being here. Thank you for being patient with me today, because I could not. Thank you for that, Elizabeth. I could not get on here at 11:30. I was stuck in a work situation, so I had to move my show back. Not once, but twice. But it was kind of worked out really cool too, because I got to go and sit in on like the last part of Chris Rossetti's show, and I think that was really cool because I miss having that. He used to be at 11 o'clock a.m. and he changed the time up on me, so I was happy to go and catch that one. And you know what? And I am going to mention this, Chris, because I thought this was really powerful. But Chris's show, he was talking about cold turkey. And and that's such an important concept when you think about it. And a lot of people, like, when they see or think about like stopping something in a cold turkey kind of thing, like, I'm just done. It's done. But do you know that there are things, and this goes along with perseverance too, but when you go along with, for example, we talked about it last night in the Energy Garden show about releasing toxic, getting rid of things, letting go, starting a new chapter, doing something like that. Well, that is a cold turkey situation. It was not. We didn't talk about it in the terms of like, all right, well, so we talked about it. Great talk, guys. Okay, so let's start doing this over the course of the next 2 years, and hopefully we'll get someplace. No, when it comes to like toxic people, it's about understanding. I've hit my limit. I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. And then be done. Cold turkey. Bam. Bam. And that is important because when you can do that, let me tell you something. Do you know how awesome and amazing that feeling is? Especially when you stick to it. And why are you going to stick to it? Because you persevere. Because of perseverance, my friend. Because you are a conqueror and you can do this. You've got this. It's just wham, bam, thank you, ma'am, I'm done. Don't stretch stuff out. Don't perseverate. Okay? Don't perseverate. Persevere. Cold turkey. Make it happen. Make a decision. And then be it. Live it. Own it. Then own that decision. All right, guys. I so appreciate you. Elizabeth, Chris, Graciela, Jonathan, Deanna, everybody watching out on YouTube and on Facebook. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being patient with my delayed show today. I'll be back with you tomorrow at 11:30 a.m. And I appreciate you guys so much. Do something with this. I hope you do. You're not insane. I love you all. Sending you all good vibes and good stuff. I'll see you tomorrow. Have a blessed rest of your Monday. Hope your week is starting well. All right, guys. Cheers.